Most men measure their success in years, waiting for the ideal moment to make a change. But let me tell you something I learned in the coalfields of Virginia and in the boardrooms of great industrialists. A single decision, backed by faith and persistence, can alter the entire course of a man's destiny in just 6 months. 6 months may seem short, but in the realm of disciplined thought and deliberate action, it is long enough to create miracles. Why 6 months? Because a year is often too distant. It invites delay, excuse, and distraction. And a month? That is merely a flicker, gone before the seeds can take root. But 6 months, that is the sweet spot. It is a span where purpose can be forged into reality, where weak habits can be replaced by iron will. Think of Thomas Edison, who in a matter of months pushed past 1,000 failures to perfect the electric lamp. Or Andrew Carnegie, who didn't amass wealth overnight, but started with bold intentions, refined daily. The time is not your obstacle. The use of time is, 6 months from now, you will arrive. The question is, where? In my many years of studying the habits of successful men, men like Henry Ford, Alexander Graham Bell, and Charles Schwab, I discovered one truth that never fails. Definiteness of purpose is the starting point of all achievement. A man who does not know what he wants is like a ship without a rudder, destined to drift aimlessly, subject to every current and wind. Most men can speak for hours about what they dislike in their lives, their unsatisfying work, their lack of money, their strained relationships, but when asked what they truly desire, they hesitate, they fumble, they are unclear, and so life gives them more of the same. If you wish to transform your life in 6 months, you must begin with crystal clarity, not vague hopes, but defined, measurable objectives. Do not merely say, I want to be successful. Instead, say, I shall double my income by October the 1st, or I shall publish my first manuscript within 180 days. That is how you signal to your subconscious mind and to infinite intelligence that you are ready to receive. Clarity is not a luxury. It is power, concentrated. During my interviews with the most accomplished men of our time, men who built railroads, revolutionized industry, and shaped nations, I noticed that success was never an accident. It was born from a philosophy, a way of interpreting the world and one's place within it. Your life philosophy is the lens through which you see failure, opportunity, and even yourself. If that lens is distorted by fear, doubt, or passivity, no amount of effort will bear lasting fruit. It is not what happens to you that shapes your destiny, it is how you respond. The same wind blows on us all, but it is the set of your sail, your personal philosophy, that determines whether you crash upon the rocks or reach the promised shore. Andrew Carnegie taught me this. Success is not mystical. It is the natural outcome of faithfully applying sound principles. Read that again. Life does not reward wishful thinking. It rewards disciplined thinking. It rewards the man who can say, no matter what happens around me, I choose to act in alignment with my values, my vision, and my definite purpose. Craft your philosophy wisely, for it shall become the blueprint of your future. Show me the 5 men with whom you spend the most time, and I will show you the future you are walking toward. This is not mere opinion, it is law. During my time with great men such as Thomas Edison and Henry Ford, I observed that they surrounded themselves not with doubters, but with thinkers, doers, and believers. They knew that the mind is like soft clay, molded daily by the company it keeps. If you spend your hours with men who complain, who fear risk, who scoff at ambition, then do not be surprised when your own dreams begin to wither. But if you deliberately seek out those who elevate your thinking, men who challenge you, who believe in the possible, then your own spirit will begin to soar. Some associations must be limited. Some must be severed, not from cruelty, but from necessity. Just as a farmer must prune the seized branches to save the tree, so too must you protect your mind from toxic influence. Choose your companions with care, for they are the architects of your standards, your confidence, and ultimately, your destiny. The man who masters his day masters his destiny. This was a lesson I learned early in my studies, observing the quiet routines of men like Charles M. Schwab and Luther Burbank. These were not men of chaos or whim. They were men of habit, discipline, and structure. And over time, their small, daily rituals became empires. Too many men wait for flashes of inspiration, believing greatness arrives in lightning bolts. But the truth is far simpler. It arrives in inches, not miles. You may not control the future, but you most certainly control what you do today. Discipline is the bridge between intention and reality. Begin by keeping a journal. Record your progress, your failures, your insights. Track the subtle shifts, for the man who observes his own life becomes the master of it. If you read just 10 pages of a valuable book each day, in 6 months you will have consumed the knowledge of 7 full volumes. That alone could redirect your path entirely. Repetition is the mother of skill. Discipline is the father of results. Practice both daily, and you will build a life that others will call remarkable, though to you, it will feel inevitable. One of the greatest tragedies I have witnessed is the man who invests in everything, his wardrobe, his supper, his automobile, but neglects to invest in the one asset that determines all others, in self. During my time studying Andrew Carnegie, I came to understand this truth. Formal education may make you a living, but self-education will make you a fortune. Most men will think nothing of spending $100 on a fine dinner, but suggest they spend the same amount on a book, a course, or a lecture, and they hesitate. Why? Because they cannot yet see the compound value of wisdom. They cannot see that the right idea at the right time can change the direction of their entire life. If a man desires to double his income, let him first double his knowledge, for your income will rarely exceed your own personal development. The mind, when expanded, never returns to its original dimensions. In the next 6 months, resolve to spend more on your education than your entertainment. Seek knowledge with the same hunger as a man seeks water in the desert, and the results will astonish even you. It is not the grand gesture, but the quiet repetition that transforms a man's life. Let me be clear, success seldom comes in sudden, sweeping victories. More often, it is the outcome of small, intelligent actions taken with unwavering consistency. This is what I call the miracle of incrementalism. During my years of observation, I never once saw Henry Ford attempt to revolutionize his industry in a single day. No, he made one small improvement to the assembly line, then another and another. Over time, those tiny changes redefined the world. If you commit to improving just 1% per day in knowledge, in discipline, in decision-making, then by the end of 6 months, you will have compounded your potential in ways few men even dare imagine. Most people wait. They wait for the perfect moment, the grand opportunity. But success does not wait. It comes to those who act quietly and persistently. 1 page a day, 1 conversation, 1 decision, all stacking like bricks toward the cathedral of your future. Do not despise the small step. The small step, repeated, becomes your great leap forward. A man's life will never rise above the standards he sets for himself. If he tolerates mediocrity, he shall receive mediocrity. But the moment he raises his standards for his health, his work, his conduct, life begins to align with that elevation. This is no theory. It is a law I observed in the lives of great men like Edison, Rockefeller, and Carnegie. Your standards determine what you will or will not accept. Your rituals determine what you do each day. And your environment either fuels or fatigues your ambition. Together, these 3 forces govern your destiny. Begin with your rituals. Rise early. Reflect daily. Work with intensity. And each day in review. These are not mere habits. They are the architecture of greatness. Next, look at your environment. Is your workspace cluttered or clear? Is your home a place of renewal or distraction? Clean it. Shape it. Make it a temple to your ambition. And finally, raise your standards. Speak with more dignity. Walk with greater purpose. Demand more of yourself than any man would dare demand of you. For when you raise your standards, your world has no choice but to rise with you. The man who holds himself accountable needs no master. He becomes his own governor, his own judge, his own compass. During my studies of high achievers, from industrial magnates to inventors, I discovered that they did not rely on chance. nor did they drift with the winds of convenience. They committed and then held themselves to that commitment. If you desire transformation over the next 6 months, do not walk the path alone. Find a fellow traveler, a man of integrity, to whom you can report your progress. Declare your goals, track your steps, celebrate your victories. For we will do more to avoid disappointing others than we often do to avoid disappointing ourselves. Now let us speak of focus. The world is loud, chaotic, full of false urgencies. But you must become laser-focused on what matters. Don't major in minor things. Concentrate your effort like sunlight through a magnifying glass, and you shall set your vision aflame. And finally, embrace resilience. You will stumble. All great men have. But the difference lies in rising one more time than you fall. For defeat is never permanent, unless you accept it. No man becomes truly rich until he learns to be grateful. Gratitude is the oil that quiets the engine of ambition, allowing you to strive without bitterness, to pursue without blindness. Over the next 6 months, I urge you to keep a gratitude journal, not as a sentimental ritual, but as a tool of transformation. When you train the mind to see value, you begin to create value. Now let us speak of contribution. Success that ends with you is incomplete. True riches are found in what you give, not merely in what you earn. Andrew Carnegie once told me, "The man who dies rich dies disgraced." Pour value into others. Mentor, teach, uplift. The more people you help succeed, the more success you invite into your own life. And finally, decision. All growth begins with a choice. Successful men decide quickly and seldom waver. Unsuccessful men delay endlessly and retreat often. The decisions you make today, not tomorrow, will determine your condition 6 months from now. Remember, life will pay whatever price you ask of it. Ask for excellence. Expect greatness. Choose boldly and begin. Your future is waiting for you, but it will not wait forever.